What's going on, guys? This video is going to be about what I consider the most important feature of a handgun or any firearm when you're out shopping for a new gun. When you're in a gun store, you can't do too much to the guns. You can open it up, look around, stuff like that. Most places ain't gonna allow you to take it apart, even if you really know the gun, because they don't know you. If you know the people good, they may allow it if they own the place or something, but in most part, it's kind of like going to Walmart and asking to look at a PlayStation, then asking if you could take it apart. They're not allowing you to mess something up because they don't know your skill level. But one of the things you can test out is the trigger. In most places, I've only ran into one gun shop that wouldn't allow me to test the trigger. Unless it's an old gun, it's got the firing pin on the hammer. It's not going to hurt it to try to dry fire it. Now, I wouldn't do it repeatedly like 50 times, but it's not going to hurt it to try it out a couple times. I won't buy a gun that I can't, because the trigger is what makes the gun accurate. If you ain't got you can have the world's most accurate gun in the world, but if it's got a bad trigger, it's going to be, it might as well be the world's most inaccurate, depending on how bad the trigger is. I've passed up plenty of guns that I just did not like the trigger on. But most quality guns are going to have a decent trigger. Some may break a little harder, but you can get used to it with some training, I'm pretty proficient with any trigger. Double action's kind of I'm decent with double action. Some real hard double action trigger pulls kind of because I don't shoot double action very often. Even with a revolver shooting, I normally cock it. I'll do it every once in a while to keep proficient somewhat with it, but I don't plan on taking head size shot target, like a milk jug from 100 yards away with double action. I like a clean, crisp trigger pull. But anyway, you can test that out in the store, and one of the main things to kind of look at when you're testing a trigger is this gun is safety checked. Show you on there. Anyway, one of the main things to test on the trigger is when you're in there and you test or whatever, see whenever you take it easy with it, feel for it, and then just squeeze, don't jerk it. And if you get ready to do it and you start doing this right before you pull the trigger, it's probably too hard for you. And if it's really hard, you do it real bad, you may want to pass on that. But you want a gun that you can just squeeze and because that's what makes it accurate. Right there at the end, right before the hammer falls and the last clean break, if you wiggle your gun around, that whole time you're taking your time isn't going to count for nothing. You just jerk the shot. And I haven't found a gun that I couldn't get used to, but I have found guns that I've picked up and the trigger was so bad that I didn't want to give a shot to. It just wasn't worth my money for it. I know I wouldn't like it. And if you spend $900 on a gun, you don't like the trigger, you ain't gonna like the gun very much because it's gonna be inaccurate for you. So that's something to think about if you haven't really thought about it too much. And before you go out testing, guns, triggers on guns at a gun shop, you want to be polite and courteous. You want to ask first. I always do. And like I said, one time, matter of fact, it was at the place where I bought my LC9. I knew what the trigger felt like on the LC9. I've been picking them up for a year and a half. They all felt alright. I just, if it's been 6 months, you learn more shooting. You start to learn even more what you like. I don't care how much you're into guns, you always are learning. And I knew the trigger wasn't bad. I wanted to feel it again before I bought it just to be extra certain. Dude said, we can't do that here. And I was like, really? I even explained to him, I'm not just one, because some people, come in there and pick up a Desert Eagle and just start dry firing. I could see where if you're not wanting to buy something, people don't like their stuff. They don't like people wearing it. So if you ain't planning on buying it, or you're not even interested in getting the gun, don't dry fire it. treat other people's stuff as you want to be treated. That gun's gonna go to somebody one day. But alright guys, thanks for watching.